How do you turn clarity into confusion? Oh, how do you turn confusion into clarity? I was supposed to start that. How do you turn confusion into clarity? But it came out the other way. And I'm actually glad it did, because how do we turn clarity into confusion? I believe that we're born with a clear idea of who we are, a clear energy, and a clear awareness to the soul that's within us. And it's through we are products of our environment. It's through our conditioning, it's through our programming, as if we were computers being programmed all the way through our lifetimes. So clarity does become confusion, because through our lifetimes, people start telling us what to do, and we start believing outside influences, whether that's TV, TikTok, internet, politics, school, our family, our friends. Maybe you meet a new social circle that you really want to impress. It's really easy to turn clarity into confusion. Sometimes you're just curious about what's on the other side. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? I've had moments of clarity. I thought I was completely done with toxic situations, poverty, just going through lessons. Like, I thought my lessons were always just going to be big and grand from a certain point forward, but that was not the case. That was not the case at all, because I got curious about things that I hadn't experienced, and I turned what felt like a clarity of who I was and a path that I was on, and it turned into confusion very quickly. And then I was like, well, I want this, but this isn't what my life is right now. And so there was this resistance there, and that resistance doesn't feel good. So how do we know, how do we turn confusion into clarity? First, we have to admit that we're confused. How much time do you spend on a decision? Really think about that. Are you hemming and hawing? Are you going back and forth? Do you think you've made a decision, but yet you're Googling this or following this Instagram algorithm for tips and tricks on a certain subject? You're just waiting for confirmation, because the way that you're allowing things to continue doesn't sit right. That's how you know. That's you pay attention, you become aware. By the way, this is Awaken with Debb. I'm Deborah Kaye. So if this sounds interesting to you, let's dive in. On this channel, it's called Awaken with Debb because I like to awaken to the awareness of our soul. We are aligning to the faith of God. I am still getting used to admitting my faith to God. And looking back on my life, God has always been there and God has always blessed me. And it has only been this last year that I have come full circle to accept God and allow God for what God is actually into my life. 333, as I said that. Wow. Okay. Confusion into clarity. There have been moments where I've spent years deciding, because so I'm someone that I like to follow my gut with choices and decisions, and then so I like to feel that they're the right choice and decision, because that's what I'm explaining, right? We go with how we feel. And then sometimes the choice becomes clear that it was not the right choice. However, at that time, it was the right choice. And so we have to come to accept that even though a choice can be the right choice in the moment, the continuation of the path that choice led to doesn't always need to see itself through to the way that you thought it would see itself through. I hope you were able to follow that. I don't know if I could repeat it if I tried. It's sometimes you have to, it is the right choice so that you could see what happens on here. But the trick is to notice if you're off track and bring yourself back to either center or to a different branch. This morning I was doing some just yard work maintenance, walking around back and forth, doing some household chores, right? Household chores. And it had been raining. And so I had my muck boots that I was carefully putting on and off so I didn't get mud all over my nice concrete and or in the house, right? Like keeping them on the mud where they belong. And at one of these moments, I put my foot in the very first step, very sharp rock in my boot. And immediately I'm like, well, I'm taking that, setting everything down, taking off the boot, getting that rock out and putting it on and moving on. Actually, I don't think it was the first step. I think it was like one or two. And I was like, you know what? This is dumb. And I just took it out. And I was like, see how easy that was to just take it out. And that brought me back to a memory of one time I was on a hike and there was a rock on my shoe, not on a time limit at all. I could have stopped at any time to get this tiny little pebble out of my shoe. But I'm like, oh, it's just a tiny little pebble. It's okay that I'm walking kind of funny to avoid hitting it right. I want to say it was probably 3 miles that I went with this rock this way. Maybe it was only 1 mile. Either way, anything beyond 20 feet is ridiculous. There's no reason to put yourself through that. Now, this situation with that tiny little pebble in my shoe for that long of time, I ended up giving myself a blister. And then my leg, like my muscles felt funny because I could tell I was like walking differently, different gait, different. And that's the thing in life. Like if you feel like you're struggling with a choice of A or B really bad, like whatever one you're on, just pick the other one and give it a shot. Even if it does mean turning your life upside down. What's the big deal? You turn your life upside down and restart. Wow, you'll get a story to tell. It's not that big of a deal. I think we're told that it's that big of a deal, that we're meant to keep one career for our whole life, and if that's not what we do, then we're failures. No. Have you ever met someone that has several different careers under their belt? They're very interesting people and very well rounded and not just like I mean, it all interconnects and their brains work differently and they're just such a large box of knowledge. It's amazing. So yeah, you could stick with one thing, but just don't be afraid to branch out. If a decision is giving you so much confusion, that's resistance, because truth doesn't feel like that. Truth feels easy. Truth feels free. Truth feels aligned. Truth feels honest. Have you ever told a lie, even just a baby one, or like a fudge, or just maybe not even a lie, but just like wording things in such a way? I don't know about you, but every time I do, like I can feel it. I know it. Every time I do it, I can instantly feel like, oh, well, there's a karmic string that I just created. We're human. We are human. If you can't feel that that I was just speaking about when lying, awakening to the awareness of who you are is a really good path for you. Empathy is a really good trait. In all actuality, if you're watching this video, I don't doubt for a second that you know what I'm talking about. You. This video is for you. So electronics, especially this day and age, are connected into our consciousness. You are energy, you are electricity, and as are these videos and this vibration. So you wouldn't be able to watch this video if you weren't at a resonance with the information, whether that's to have a seed planted. Maybe it's even for you to get just disgusted and thrown off and like switch off the thing. But either way, that's offering contrast. So it's one way or another. If you're watching this, you're meant to watch this. Truth feels light. there was this time where I thought I had everything together, but there was still underlying layers of resentment and criticism, maybe hierarchy. Is that how you say it? Hierarchy. I've noticed lately it's getting harder for me to pronounce words, and especially I was trying to pronounce some Spanish today. Whole paragraph. It was really cool. Thank you for being here and watching these videos, taking the time for you. If you're on here on YouTube and you are watching videos like this, you're meant for something more. And maybe that hasn't become apparent yet, because there's a shift happening, and it's going to need a lot of people that believe in the weird stuff that we talk about on this channel. And I feel like I've seen memes that say weird just means faithful or lucky even. 1111. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is a world of magic. And there's a lot of people that are going to have the opportunity to awaken if they choose to. If you're watching this, you're probably a chosen one that has chosen to do so. If you have seen the other videos of chosen ones, it isn't necessarily chosen like, oh, God has handpicked you. God has handpicked everyone. But it is our awareness that has chosen to participate to that extent and on that level and on that vibration, on that journey of co-creation. That rhymed. 12:12. Okay. I keep looking at the clock, so I guess that's it. That's the message at the moment. We're leaving it at that. If you're watching this, you're a chosen one. There is a message in here for you. Let me know how you feel about it below. Chosen ones unite. Comment chosen ones unite, or an emoji, chosen ones, something to that effect. All right, homework pieces. Homework. Little personal toolbox challenges that I've been giving on a daily basis just by happenstance. I want to hear about times that maybe you weren't fully honest and you felt it and you wanted to fix it, but you just didn't know how. Or at least maybe if you don't want to share details, just raise your hand that, yeah, honesty is part of being human. Dishonesty is part of being human. It's all contrast. We are on earth. Everything's duality. Nothing's black and white. So with that said, make sure you like, comment, as I just described, and subscribe if these messages are up your alley. It's a lot of information that will keep you busy for decades. Life's going to look really busy, different within a matter of years. So we don't actually have decades to catch up on things, but that's okay, because we are tapping into the collective consciousness and understanding that everything is in the ethereal realm, and we always know everything that we need to know at all times. It's just, we're like a computer, and we only recall what we need to know when we need to know it. Everything else is just background and floating around. We don't need to have it stored with us all the time. Is the microphone still on? Yeah. Thank you for joining Awaken with Debb. I'm Deborah Kaye. Have a blessed day.